Welcome everybody, welcome to another one. If you're just tapping in, please hit the like button, share with your loved ones, your friends and families and whatnot. And also, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It helps in the platform. For those of you that's already subscribed to the channel, thank you so much for your support. It's greatly appreciated. You know, I don't take none for granted. I appreciate all the kind words, your support, your encouragement, or whatever you have to offer. For those of you that's not subscribed yet, thanks for just tuning in and listening, and hopefully, you know, you'll take the time out to subscribe. So we back, y'all. We back with part 4 of my prison journey. We back. You know, this is real fun. This is better than what I thought it was gonna be. You know, I thought it was gonna be tough for me to actually do this series because, you know, it's a lot, man, that I went through that you know is here, you know, and takes a lot to sit down and just speak on some of the hard and difficult times you went through. But nonetheless, I'm getting through it better than what I thought, and I'm actually having fun with it. I'm learning from it. You know, I'm learning things about myself that I'm like, wow, I didn't really know that about me all the way. So it's a blessing to have this. So as we left off in the last video, I'm back in jail, y'all. After being home for just a short 8 months. What can I say? What can I really say but I'm in the way? Well, I was in the way at the time. I was in the way, you know, to go home, you know, after sitting in that county jail for a year, you know, paying a lawyer to get me a deal that's going to get me out, you know, that day. And then to turn around, go home, and practically make a U-turn. So I'm back in jail. They locked me up, take me down to the precinct, you know, got my ID and all that. And, you know, in addition to the 3 cells that they had me on, you know, I also got charged with a firearm because they later on that evening they went to the apartment and searched and found a gun there. You know, that's a whole nother story that I don't think it's necessary for me to get into that, you know, but nonetheless, you know, I got charged with a firearm that was in the apartment. So I'm back in here. I'm back in Northampton County Prison. You know, they have built a new side to this jail, right? And on the new side, you know, there's no contact visits. You know, one thing about when you're in jail, you know, you kind of need those contact visits, right? Not only to hug your loved ones or, you know, for the most part, hugging your girl, your significant other, or your wife if you married, being able to hug her and kiss her and whatnot. All that's important for a person doing time, right? But in addition to that, you know, it's good to have contact visits when you trying to make moves. You trying to get drugs inside the jail and all that kind of stuff. So that's important to have that because, you know, with being able to bring things into the jail, you can make money, right? You can make money. You can take care of yourself. That way, you don't have to be a burden to those your loved ones that's out there, your wife, your girl, or whatever, your baby moms, and you can help them. You know, you can, you know, pay bills, pay rents, you know, buy a car. You can do all that in there. You know, that's just the way it goes in there. So, you know, they was trying to send me to the new side. I'm not doing that. I'm trying to go to the old side because I need to get on these contact visits to make the moves that I need to make. You know, to make some money, continue to make this money. See, my mind haven't yet reshaped into where I'm at right now. So all this I'm telling you is when I was, in the graveyard, so to speak, if you will. Right. So I buck the new side, meaning I refuse. I'm not going over there. He's like, what you mean? I'm not going over there. I got problems over there. I'm not going over there. So, all right, well, when you going to be ag sag, meaning that you're going to be on administrative lockdown. Is in the shoe, but you got more privileges than guys that's actually doing shoe time. You got on the bottom range, you got the administrative segregation inmates, and then on top of that, you got the guys on disciplinary segregation. That means guys that's actually in the shoe, in the hole, whatever you want to call it, for some type of write-up infraction, whether it's fighting, arguing with the police, whatever it is, you got time to do up there, right? And then, whatnot. So I'm downstairs in the ag sag. They like, we gonna send you there and you gonna be, I'm like, all right, cool, bet. I really don't care because I know I can make my moves. I don't gotta worry about how I'm gonna get cops. I just need to get on that visit. So anyway, I'm there, I know a lot of people in the jail already, so they set it out for me. They find out, yeah, hey, he Mel back over there, he, such unit. So when they go to the gym, they got to pass the block that I'm on. So they dropping off bags, food, cosmetics and whatnot, little notes and stuff like that. Asking me, man, what happened, man? Damn, bro. So I'm there. I got 2 cases in 2 different counties. I got the 3 cells, which was in Northampton County, and then I got the other charge in the Lehigh County, right? Which because the apartment I had was in another town in Pennsylvania, right? It wasn't in Northampton County. It was actually in Lehigh County. I believe that's the way they named that county, right? So whenever I gotta go to court for the gun case, they don't call them the sheriffs. They'll come and pick me up and take me to court over there in Bethlehem. I had to go to a magistrate over there, for court and things like that. So I'm back and forth doing that, Once again, like I told y'all, when you in Northampton County Jail, you get a court date, you just ain't going for whatever reason until they feel that they want to take their time out their busy schedule and attend to your case. Until then, you're not going to court. They can give you all the dates. You can look at it. You can call them and look, I got a court date, such day. Y'all need to come to court. I don't know why you telling them that for, because you're not going. Period. Right? So I was getting dates for court in Northampton, just not going. But however, in Bethlehem, I went, I believe once or twice I went, and then they started doing the same thing. Court date, but never going. Make no sense to me, but whatever. So I'm sitting there and I'm kind of like weighing everything out. I'm like, damn, man. I'm like, man, how much time I'm facing? So, they let us go to the law library. I'm going to the law library. I'm looking at my charges and I'll see like, damn, I might be able to get like 2 years, 2 to 4 years out of this. All right, cool. I can rock with that, Hey man, it might sound the same, but like I've been doing jail time all my life, so 2 to 4 years is like 3 months in my sick thinking. I'm like, I do that. I do that in the box. I don't care. As sick as it might sound, but this is just was my thinking. I'm being real with us. This was my thinking. So I went to a court hearing. I think it was either an arraignment or it was a preliminary. I can't quite remember which one it was, but I'm telling my lawyer, like, because he's like, yo, you want to fight the case? What I was like, look, man, from what I read, I can get, possibly 2 years, to 4 years on this charge right here. I'm not sure with the other kids, but I know for this right, I get like a 2 to 4. He said, yeah, I believe that's your range right there with your record. I said, all right, bet. Look, I'm trying to plead guilty. He was like, well, let's just wait until we don't normally do that in this proceeding. Let's just wait until the next proceeding and, we'll figure it out from there. And I'm telling him, like, look, I'm trying to get out the way. The quicker, in my mind, the quicker I do this, the better. The prosecutor won't go hard. They'd be like, okay, we'll agree to give him the 2 to 4. So I'm trying to get out the way. So anyway, the judge asks, speaking to my lawyer, okay, how does the defendant plead? My lawyer's like, oh, he pleads not guilty. I'm like, hold on. I'm like, Your Honor, I raised my hand. Can I say something? He's like, it might be best if your attorney speak. I said, look, I don't, care to have him speak. I want to just say something for myself right now. The judge was like, okay, go ahead, you can speak. I said, listen, Your Honor, I'm guilty. I want to plead guilty to this charge right here. And the judge was like, okay, well, what does the prosecution have to say about this? Guess what the prosecutor said? I've never heard this in my life, in my whole life of going back and forth into court, things. I've never heard this. The prosecutor said, Your Honor, we're not accepting no guilty pleas from this defendant, period. So the judge like, okay, was there any reason for that? Because I'm not aware. He said, well, Your Honor, we don't want to disclose that information right now, but we're not accepting no guilty pleas from this defendant. He's welcome to plead not guilty, but we're not accepting no. So the judge was like, okay, all right, fine. We're gonna mark this down as a not guilty plea, and then we'll move on to the next phase of this case. But after this, he's telling the prosecutor, I need to speak with you to see what the hell's going on here, because I'm kind of lost for words what's going on here. And basically told me I can't plead guilty. Like, wouldn't you think that if you want to plead guilty, they'd be happy? Okay, come on, plead guilty. Let's get you out the way, wrap you up, send you upstate, send you wherever we got to send you, and then we move on to the next case. It's an easy win for us. Not me. Unbeknownst to me, they baking a cake for me. Baking a cake means, in layman terms, it means they got something else planned for me that I'm not even aware of. That's going to put me away for a long time. Because throughout their, investigation over the years, they wanted me so bad. They wanted to nail me so bad. And couldn't never get me for whatever reason. I was just always slipping out of their reach. You know how somebody try to pull you and get you and you kind of slip out your shirt and get. I was like that, getting away from them. So they wanted me so bad, and in their mind, this is our time to get him and put him away. So, I sat there, I'm going to my visits. I'm grabbing what I need to grab. I won't get into the specifics for obvious reasons, but I'm doing my little numbers. I'm enjoying it when I should be, having hard times in there. I'm having a good time. I really don't care, and I'm just having a ball. It's like I don't even feel like I'm in prison, and that's crazy, but we're going to get a little bit more into that, later on in another video. But, anyway, I'm there, there for a few months, and, the lady that I'm with at this time, she kind of faded away, when you're doing time, this is no bash to the women out there, but I just got to be real and I got to tell the truth. A lot of times when you in prison and, if you're not getting right back out, they might stick around for a little bit and then they're going to start fading away. No matter how much you stay on the phone, baby, I love you, all that sound good. But when they ready to go, they ready to go. When they get that itch and they need that scratch, they going to take care of their business. So, Nonetheless, she faded away. Cool. No more visits. I bet, I've been down this road already. So cool. I'm going to deal with it. It stung a little bit, not going to lie, but I'm going to get through it some kind of way. So, I'm there, and after a few months, somebody in the jail sent a note over to me. Hey, look, such and such, the girl I was with, said get in contact with her is important. So I'm like, man, I'm not calling her. So a couple days passed. They sent another note. They like, yo, look, she keeps saying call her is an emergency. Call her now. Like, all right, you know what? Let me call. So I call, boom, get on the phone, call. She dropped a bombshell on me. And it ain't got nothing to do with her saying I'm leaving you. She dropped a bombshell that was going to start the process of me getting destructed by the system. But we going to save that for part 5. I'm taking my time with this family because I don't want to leave out, some important parts and rob you of the story, even rob myself of, my journey, my healing and whatnot. So I'm going to take my time. This ain't no script I'm reading from. This is straight coming from here in my journey. So part 5, we gonna get into what that phone call was about. And then the journey begins. I'm talking about soul snatching. My whole soul came out. But anyway, thank you so much for listening. I hope that y'all enjoying the series just as much as I'm enjoying it. It's dear to me. If you going through things out there, hey, you made it this far, right? All you got to do sometimes is go in your bathroom and look in that mirror. Look in that mirror and just tell yourself, I can do this. I overcame so much. I can do this. I'm the best. I love what I see when I'm looking in the mirror. Tell yourself this, but really mean it here. And then take the steps to find that comfort that you're looking for. And God, He gonna see you through the rest, but you gotta take that step. You can't play games with God, like trying to use God. And you gotta take that step, and He gonna take a few towards you. But you gotta take that one step. You gotta look in that mirror and say, look, I've been through so much and I made it. I'm still here and I'm getting stronger. So no matter what the universe throws at me, I'm good. I'm a make it. And guess what? The universe is throwing it at you just to help you to build character. Help you to build that strength for the next one that's coming. Man, it's so deep, man, when we go through things and, we shy away from, those trials and those struggles. But those trials and struggles is going to build character. It's going to give you the strength to deal with the next one that's coming. Because that's what life is about, man. Going through struggle, overcoming difficulties, and get ready for the next one. And then it builds character. And then you start elevating and getting stronger and stronger. Then you'll be able to help somebody else. Don't that sound good? Look, man, I'm out of here. Thank you for tapping in. Please hit the like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And I'm going to leave as I always do. Remember that your potential, speaking about you, your potential for greatness is truly unlimited.